Shit. Dark. That was good. I like that. I like that. Yeah. Hi everyone. Just to introduce the crowd. We're back and we started earlier, so we got some energy. I was at work today when we decided we were going to record, so I have my plans to talk about on the back of a ripped up piece of paper as I was trying to hide that I was even looking at my cell phone. I was just trying to catch up on the past it's been a month, but at least the past couple of weeks of news that we might have missed on that we could talk about.
Yeah, because there sure is a lot that we can cover.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see things that one of my favorite things about the podcast is not only do we get to talk about things that we're both well aware of and we want to talk about, but I like hearing new things that
right.
Or just not even new things, but just the things that you're into. There's some things that we're not both into, but it's cool to hear about.
Gradual exchange of ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. Friends, friendship.
Yeah.
So let's just dive into this because I really want to get into some of the things that I have to talk about later on. So, do you want to start with your new nerd shit for new nerd shit?
So, new nerd shit.
Yeah.
What is new today? Well, I have been going down a lot of YouTube rabbit holes.
As you're one to do.
And I've also been very into Star Wars recently.
Right.
So I've been looking at a lot of random Star Wars channels, and one of my favorites that I've found is by the name of Eckert's Ladder. I believe I sent this to you.
You did. I haven't got a chance to watch him yet, but...
Yeah, and Eckert's Ladder is cool because there's a lot of lore videos of the greater Star Wars universe, a lot of Star Wars legend content, which I know next to nothing about, so it's my first time learning about a lot of these characters.
Oh wow, there's a lot there, dude. There's 30 years worth of material.
Oh yeah, all the books. I just hate reading.
Yeah,
English major that doesn't read.
Well, they ruin it for you in college. They're like, hey, read all these fucking books all the time.
That's the true thing. Because I do enjoy.
I don't like to read anymore.
Not when I have to.
Right, but it's made me feel not to even cut off your thing, but it's made me feel that just reading for fun, I can't even do it for fun anymore.
Yeah.
I started buying audiobooks so my Google Home reads to me. Because I just can't sit and read. This is a comic. So you're taking in all that information.
I was taking all this information in. He also does, cool things ship type breakdowns and different faction wars and he does battle breakdowns, which are some of my favorites, where he breaks down the actual fleet battles that happen in Star Wars. So he does the Battle of Endor, he does the Battle of Coruscant, all these cool.
That's interesting.
Canon and Legends battles that explains exactly what goes on, exactly the tactics that were used, the number of ships and types of ships that each side had. So
he kind of tells the story of the Star Wars war fights as if somebody was telling you them over a fire or something, right? Old-timey, this is how it happened.
Maybe less charming than that because it's video overlay, but he has often graphics that you follow along with, and he kind of just shows, he just does a commentary of how the battles were going, exactly what was happening. It's interesting.
Huh.
I learned so much about Star Wars within the past few weeks.
There's a lot to learn, and dude, they made a lot of that. I mean, not what you were just talking about, but a lot of the Legends stuff not real. That's why it's Legends, but they draw from that shit. They definitely are. It's kind of like the Marvel movie universe almost, where they draw from the comic material. It's different.
Oh yeah.
But they still use it. So it's good to have that. It's good that you're learning that stuff now, because it's kind of like cool when you see something in current Star Wars and you're like, oh fuck, like when they got Thrawn, you're like, oh, Thrawn, cool.
Yeah, and well, admittedly, I was never super interested in like the Star Wars extended universe until really recently. But like now, I find it cool that like I can spot specific alien types. Then like I know what worlds they're from and what their names are and what types of ships each faction uses. It's made it a much more enjoyable experience for all Star Wars media now.
Right? Yeah. Absolutely. Like, oh man, this makes me really excited to hear. Because I love talking about Star Wars, and it's cool to have somebody that like knows their shit, and like you usually have, but I've never noticed that you didn't already know this stuff. Question for you: would you say that how recently would you say that you've become more interested in the extended Star Wars?
Very recently, I would say.
Would you say within the years of meeting one Chase Donald Skripek?
Yeah, I would say so.
Hey, cool. If I can inspire fellow people to check out Star Wars, I say give it a go. You know what I've been watching? Not to count this as my new nerd shit, but to talk more about kind of Star Wars. I've been watching this account on YouTube that's like therapists watch. I don't even know what it's called. They like it's like a therapist watched blank for the and like they like go over characters. Like I watched this one where they like diagnosed Kylo Ren, and they're both like Star Wars. Like they're not just therapists. They're like Star Wars guys.
Is it from Wired or GQ?
Let me check my history on my YouTube real quick because
I think I know what you're talking about. Is it like the expert breaks down scenes in a movie type series?
I think they like go along. They are their channel is called Cinema Therapy. Yeah, it's one that I just kind of I had a day off last week, one day, a snow day, and I ran into like their thing on Kylo Ren, and I just watched, and that was really interesting because like you can tell that they aren't like sequel haters. They're just people that like Star Wars. So they don't really shit on any of the movies. They like say things they really like about the movies, which is it's rare to hear, so it's nice to hear. And then they like kind of draw on some of the characters that just from like their interactions, the things they've done. Like I watched a whole 10-minute video that they just put up about Kylo Ren's interaction with Han in Episode 9, like when he visualizes him and sees him and talks to him. Yeah. Like they kind of break that down and why like that's like a sort like a way that like people cope. Like it's a coping mechanism in real life for people like have fake conversations with their loved ones. And it's just kind of cool to see that kind of talk as they talk about Star Wars. And they're Star Wars fans, so they like make jokes and references and like it's cool.
That is really cool.
So that's a fun one if you get into Star Wars.
The little niche kind of channels that you find that give you something you never knew you wanted before.
The algorithm, man. Like some days it's fucking terrible, but other days it's like this is cool and this is something new for me to follow in my life, and I dig it.
I mean, are algorithms potentially accelerating the decline of humanity? Maybe.
Probably.
Do they make my YouTube experience more enjoyable? Of course.
Most days, yeah. Some days I see the same shit from the last day. I'm like, man.
Yeah, sometimes that's annoying.
But when it's a hit, it's a hit. It's like a good episode of The Walking Dead, you know? Like, you get like 6 or 7 episodes in a row that you're just like, yeah, there's a story there. And then all of a sudden there's a banger and you're like, yes, that was awesome. What a great episode of television.
Oh.
Walking Dead certainly knows how to keep a community going.
I need to rewatch all the latest episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the season just picked up. I'm
mostly caught up with it now, but...
Yeah, because you watched through most of it over quarantine, I remember. Which I think is the best way to watch The Walking Dead. I really think that you had the best way to watch all those, just one after the other, not waiting, not...
Yeah, I feel like if I remained a fan, I would have gotten bored.
It's easy to get bored, yeah, because you watch, like, for me, I do usually watch every week when it comes out, and it's just, like, trudging along a lot.
It's definitely a story that's better told in one sitting, because it's a good story, but if you're expecting like the action-packed
yeah.
series that you know and love, you have to wait a few episodes.
Yeah. It'll hit you, but it's you gotta wait.
The stories are the more important part.
Yeah, I'm gonna be glad that I didn't give up on this show by the time it's done. I really think it's gonna end well. Like, I think the Walking Dead, even though the show has lost viewerships, a lot of people throughout have dippered off, and like the show itself, its popularity from when it began to where it is now, it's very different. But I still think it'll deliver when it needs to. I'm a strong proponent that Rick Grimes is going to show back up in like one of the last episodes.
I could see him showing back up. I don't
fuck shit up.
Them not having Andrew Lincoln in the last episode.
Yeah, no way. Like, especially if they're doing these movies. Like, if he just left the show and there was no talk of more use of him, I'd be like, who knows? You know?
Because, like, he is the Walking Dead at this point. Like, him and Michonne are, like, the two most recognizable figures of that show, and, like, the two people you think of the most when you think of Walking Dead.
Yeah, neither of them are on the show anymore.
Right, so...
Yeah. And I'd say this, honestly, without Rick, the show still works. Like, it still really does hold up without him. I miss him.
I was surprised at that, too, and I think that is just because it's always been a character-heavy drama, and they've always just relied on other good actors to carry the show.
Yeah.
Like, I think it still works because we still love the characters that are surviving.
Yeah, there's enough of them, and even some of the newer ones, you're like, oh yeah, like I care. So yeah, it has helped. Honestly, I thought if we would reverse time and you were like, what do you think's gonna happen to that show once Rick's gone? I'd be like, it's fucking done in a season. But I've been very impressed with what they've done without him.
It's definitely a show. There's no other show like it. I think it popularized killing of main characters before Game of Thrones even did.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Game of Thrones is kind of the series where, like, people think of, like, oh, like, no one has plot armor. But I think The Walking Dead is the OG.
It's funny, when I think of Game of Thrones, I think, oh, there's that show that fucking sucks. That's my first thought.
Yeah. Of course, Game of Thrones, I think, is older than The Walking Dead.
I think they started in the same... I think that Walking Dead started in 2010, and I think the Game of Thrones series started in 2011. Hey, Google, when did the Walking Dead TV series start? I think it was 2010.
The first episode of The Walking Dead was October 31st, 2010.
2010. Hey, Google, when did Game of Thrones premiere?
The air date of the first episode of Game of Thrones was April 17th, 2011.
Yeah.
Walking Dead was first.
Walking Dead had its first full season out before Game of Thrones even started, so there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I guess, is Game of Thrones the series older than Walking Dead, the comic book series?
Yeah, I think so. I think the Walking Dead comic series only started in, like, late 90s, and I'm pretty sure George R. started early 90s, right?
I believe.
I'm pretty sure. I could ask Google, but I don't think I need to look that one up. I think Game of Thrones is older.
Yeah, I think the first book definitely came out in the 90s. The second book also might have come out in the 90s.
I think they did. And yeah, Walking Dead might have even started in the 2000s. I know that much.
Yeah. Well, we strolled right along that topic.
Sure did. So I'll go on to my new nerd shit thing.
Yeah.
This one, I feel like every week I'm bringing up video game shit for my new nerd shit, but until I find something better, this is what I'm using. But I've been playing this game. It came out a couple of years ago. Swag actually just told me about it. He convinced me to download it last Friday night. It's called Hades. It's from 2018. It's like a banger. It's got crazy reviews. It got like a 10 out of 10. Like, it's this game that came out for like the PC or something. And then they put it out on Switch sometime in, I think, last September. And Swag had been telling me about it because I told him I was into Demon Souls now and Dark Souls, like we talked about last time. And he said this was a game that's kind of similar to that. And it is pretty similar, but not in the way that you would think, like, if you played it, you'd be like, oh, this is Dark Souls or Demon Souls. It's just a game that when you die, you have to kind of start over, but it's different. It's a really cool game, man. It was only $25. I was about to drop $60 on a game series that I'd never even touched, and I had no idea about. And Swag told me about this other game, and it was only $25, so I downloaded it. And dude, it's a really, really fun game. I see why it's got all these accolades, and it's one that it's like a dungeon. So the camera reminds me a lot of a more cartoonized Diablo kind of look.
Yeah.
Kind of view from that set. And it's like a little stealth RPG game. And you basically go through dungeon, like you're like the son of the devil and you're trying to escape hell. Like you want to leave. But every time you die, because that's the thing, you go through the dungeon to try to leave through hell to join the gods on like Olympus or something. Some bullshit like that. But you go through and say you die. Then you come back, you like walk out of a pool of blood because you're resurrecting in like your father's lair again and all your people. And every time you die, like there's new shit going on in like the main hub area, I guess you could call it. Characters like talk to you every time. They're like, oh, like say something kills you. They like mention like I swear to God, there's so many people talking all the time that I'm like, how do they record all these different dialogues? Because you die a lot, but you like get more shit as you die, and you can like look in the mirror and level your character's stats up. So like every time you do it, you're getting a little stronger and a little better. And there's different items, like you get keys to like unlock different items that you can start with, because you have your like Y. What are the buttons on the Switch? Let me look at it. You have your Y, which is like a dash move. You have like an X, which is like your basic attack strike. And then you have, I can't remember, like A shoots like a weird special. You only have like so many moves, but like throughout the dungeons, like the gods give you little gifts to like upgrade yourself during your playthrough, and your moves just get fucking crazy awesome. Like it is a baller ass game, man. I'm really.
Well, damn, you got me sold. I'm definitely gonna check it out.
For $25, it is a hell of a time, and
yeah.
The only thing I wish is that I didn't. I skip some of the dialogue sometimes because it's different, but it's like, you know, it's either people making fun of me for dying or like people asking me the same weird questions, and so I skip a lot. But like it's a fun, like there's voice acting, like it's one of those things where like it shows the character and the word box comes up, but they talk too, so you can read it, and like there's like this side mystery going on as well as you're like doing this. Like you find out like the person who was your mom, spoilers, but like isn't your mom actually, and like it's just cool how it works. As you just play, you die, something new happens. You play, you die, something new, and you just watch yourself get better. Like you have to fight the same bosses again. Like this one bitch, her name was Meg, and she just kept fucking killing me. Like she was this boss that was blocking me from going like up to the next like area of hell, and I just couldn't kill her. And then finally you get good enough to kill her, but it's like a fight. And then the next time you go, like it's still hard, but you've noticed that like you can plow through this boss now. Like this thing that it was a boss is just another thing that you gotta beat again. And you don't always face the same bosses. Like every playthrough isn't exactly the same. Like they switch it up, so it's fucking cool, man.
So you're not going through the same dungeon every time?
No, like the first one is usually the same, but then from there, like you choose, there's like passive, like what item you'll earn every time you beat a room, because like they'll give you like health, or they'll give you like an upgrade, and you can like choose which like path you want to take. You kind of figure that shit out as you go. The game doesn't really tell you at first. But
so if you beat a room, are you like, is that like a save point? Do you not have to go back to that room?
It's not really, I hate to say it's a save point. Like you just leave that room, you go to the next battle room, and then you're just on from it. But then if you die, you know, and then you have to start it all over again. Like every time you start it all over. And that's how it's kind of like Demon Souls. You start all over. You start from the beginning. But you're better, so you plow through the beginning. Like it really works. Like I don't get tired. It's kind of a redundant game, but in the best, most interesting way. Like
some best games are redundant.
Yeah, and I'm just so pumped. I'll go she was sleeping the other day. I played for like 4 hours straight, and it's just like that over and over. You see how far you can get, and you die, and you go back and you hope. And there's things that help you kind of to go along the way. It's real cool. I would definitely recommend it if you're bored. If you have a Switch now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that concept of kind of like a Groundhog's Day. Shout out Punxsutawney.
Home base?
Kind of like a Groundhog's Day, but in the tune of you slowly becoming stronger and stronger to like beat the same people.
Yep. Yeah. And there's like, even in the hub area, it's so, like, there's another story going on there that you're like, every time you die, kind of coming back to solve. It's cool. It's a funny little game, and it's smart, and it definitely deserves a lot of the scores that I saw. Like, I was doing a lot of research before I downloaded it, but I'm so glad I did, because it's even one, like, it's just easy to put on and play.
Would you recommend getting it on the Switch or the PC?
I've never played it on the PC. I can't imagine it's too much different. I really enjoy it on my Switch. I think it's perfect for just sitting with your Switch. I just put it on the TV last night for the first time. That was cool. If a game is on the Switch, get it for the Switch. You know?
Yeah. I feel like with PC, there's too much of a chance of it not working or not being compatible or having to deal with some sort of installation bullshit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All the time.
Mm-hmm. I mean, unless it was like a game that is a graphical achievement that you must play on PS5, I always say, like, get it for Switch. Like, Skyrim, got it for Switch. Like, it's just, playing my Switch is my favorite way to play video games. So, yeah, if you need a new game and you don't want to spend a lot of money, but you want to have a good time, I would totally recommend Hades. It was like $25. I don't know if it was on sale, but I don't think it's that expensive even not on sale.
Well, I definitely am probably going to buy that soon, because I have been looking for another game to get into. I've been playing a lot of my old games, trying to feel that old spark I used to feel back when I first played them.
I think this one will give you, maybe not the full, it won't light your fire. It might light your fire, but I think it'll give you some spark. Like, and I want to know, I'm going to ask you again, like, what is your weapon of choice? Like, I'm like a bow and arrow guy in that game. There's different, like, starting items that you can choose from and play. You got to unlock some as you go. But you start off with a sword.
Would you say it molds to your play style?
Definitely. Like, it just depends on how you want to play the game. Because, like, I like using the bow and arrow because I don't want to have to get close to people to kill me, because like they hurt you. Like, if you lose health is like precious. Like, you die and you don't get a lot of health back a lot unless you make the right choices. So it's challenging, it's fun, it's got a lot for it.
Yeah, I've been looking for another game to try and like challenge my gaming skills to make myself get better.
I think this is one that'll make you feel like it.
I've been doing Smash Bros. A lot, playing Smash Bros. A lot with my friends here, and that's a fun. That's the most my gaming skills have been tested, really. So
Smash is great. I never feel better than when I win a game of Smash on people.
Yeah, I've had to like practice to get good so I could win. You're right. It's an amazing feeling.
That was the most anime statement you've ever said to me. I had to practice so I could get good, so I could win. And become the Super Smash Brother.
The Super Smash Brothers. We're the Super Smash Brothers.
Whoa. Only on the weekends, man. I'm a Super Smash Brother. No, we aren't those people. I mean, we get drunk and fucked up, but we don't talk about it. All right, man. Well, that's really all I got to say about that, which I think is good. I think really, hey, whoever made that game, if you make more cells from this, you know who to send the money to. Oh, wait, it's old shit, new shit, because it's old business, new business.
Yeah, you got it.
Damn, we can't even remember. We're still fresh. We're still working on this.
So new shit's now?
Old shit's first, because you cover your old in speech in like debate, not debates, but you know what I'm talking about, in official like meetings.
Oh, okay.
You cover old business before new business.
So old nerd shit.
Old shit, new shit is just what it's called.
Old shit, new shit. Okay.
Yeah, it's just a play on old business, new business, but we're nerd shit, and I'm really emphasizing the shit in our name.
I gotcha. I was confused because we started out with new shit.
I know, and I'll be honest with you. When I was singing the theme song before, I started saying old nerd shit near the end, and that's why I flubbed my words. I'm doing it right now. And I knew right then and there. I was like, fuck, I botched that already. I already have new shit, old shit, and old shit, new shit, and new nerd shit mixed up. So I don't know. Well,
so we start with old shit that we talked about before in the podcast.
Or just shit that is older in general. Like, I wouldn't say in the last month, but maybe last couple months.
Okay.
That we just want to talk about.
Glad we got that clarified.
Yeah. Honestly, I have no old business or old shit. So, I am on board to talk about some of this new shit.
I'm ready to talk about the new shit as well.
We'll kind of build into the one I really want to hit, but do you want to start with something new, or do you want me to take it?
You take it.
All right, I'll start with some things that I'm pretty excited about, and this was one that I heard about. I knew it was coming. They had Pokemon Day last week, and they announced all the new Pokemon shit coming out. And
yeah.
Oh boy, was I happy to see. Did you see this? Have you ever heard into this?
Pokemon Day? I've not read into this.
Okay, sweet. So this was last Friday, I think they did a stream, and they announced the Diamond and Pearl Switch remakes, which I was waiting for. I knew it was coming. Like, it was time. You know, if following the equation that they've been doing with Pokemon games over the years, I knew a Diamond and Pearl remake was on its way, and I fucking am so pumped, man. Diamond and Pearl is, for a lot of reasons, my favorite Pokemon game.
Wow, really?
And as like an OG player, that's probably like heresy to me not to be like, Red and Blue are the best ones. But Diamond and Pearl just like, it captured everything I needed in a Pokemon game. I lost my life to that game when it came out. I was a freshman in high school, and I would stay up till like 2 in the morning playing. I remember sitting in German class, like with my DS and the volume down, playing this game. I couldn't stop playing it. I was in a race with some of my friends to beat the game, and that has a lot to do with it. But I loved it, and it was the first Pokemon game that I put. Even like 2 years later, I got back into it after it came out, and I put over like 300 hours into this game one summer, just doing all the shit that was fun to do on it. So Diamond and Pearl checks out for me, and they're making remakes, and they look really good. They didn't make it so that it was designed to be like Sword and Shield. They just took that over top view that you have from the original Pokemon Diamond and Pearl game and just updated the graphics. And to me, that's what I wanted. Like, they did the Link's Awakening remake with Pokemon Diamond and Pearl.
Well, I'm definitely excited for another Pokemon game to get out because I haven't played a Pokemon game in a while. And I also get consumed by them once I do. I always forget how fun they are. And then once I start playing, I can't stop until I've caught them all.
Yeah? Well, there's quite a bit to catch now, so you might have a lot of time.
Yeah, there's so many. They're starting to make inanimate objects into Pokemon.
Yeah.
Shoe rack Pokemon.
Oh god, man. There's
table Pokemon.
Ice cream cone. That fucking ice cream cone drives me crazy.
Keyring.
And I feel like Diamond and Pearl was where they kind of started doing that, but it was still tasteful. Like every generation after that.
I think after that is when you started to realize, oh, Pokemon artists are just looking at objects in the office and making them into Pokemon.
Yep, they're just drawing at this point and seeing what sticks.
Well, that's exciting, man.
So that was just one of the things. The other thing they announced that comes out sometime next year is this game called Pokemon Legends Arceus. Now, you didn't see the trailer, so I'll have to explain to you. And it's funny, because a couple weeks ago, Swag and I were talking about the potential that Pokemon could have on the Switch, but they didn't really do with Sword and Shield. Like, they put out a good game, but they didn't use the Switch's capabilities to its full extent, like they could with a Pokemon game. The trailer for this game, dude, it looks like if Breath of the Wild meets Pokemon, and it looks so cool. It like takes place sort of in the past, and you're like, you must be solving like the secret of Arceus or something. But like you're running, like they showed gameplay, and it's just like the graphics look like Breath of the Wild. It's played like Breath of the Wild. Even the battle system is like different. Like you control the Pokemon to fight.
Wow.
You'll have to check out.
That sounds like what I've actually always wanted Pokemon to actually be like.
Mm-hmm. Like it shows like these fucking things chasing after the main character and like just Pokemon on the loose, which they kind of did in Sword and Shield, but this looks way better.
Yeah, I feel like if they are actually making a Breath of the Wild-esque Pokemon game where you play it like Breath of the Wild, kind of, where it's like the Pokemon trainer actually going through the wild, trying to find wild Pokemon and catching them, that would be very interesting.
You'll have to check out the trailer.
A departure from the historic turn-based combat.
Yeah, it really looks that way.
Yeah.
It even looks like you as the trainer can fight the Pokemon in a certain way, almost, from the way this trailer looked.
Start punching them.
Just kick its ass. Hey, Clefairy, get your ass over here.
Kick Pikachu in the face.
Boom. You have like your rifle and you shoot a Pidgey out of the fucking sky. Take that, bitch. You gotta cook it over a fire like in Breath of the Wild.
It highlights the actual problematic aspects of owning Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. You get lost in the woods too long, they start to get hungry, your Pokemon can starve to death. Oh, man. And it showed, like, I don't know if they're starters, if you're even having starters in this, or they just give you all these Pokemon. But, like, it looked like they had Cyndaquil,
one of my favorites, actually.
Yeah, it's like it's the water one from, I think, Black and White. It's the fucking weird-looking beaver thing that evolves into Samurott.
Yeah, I don't know.
That thing, and then I think Snivy. I could be wrong on that, too.
I normally always go with a water starter, except if it's Cyndaquil.
I'm usually fire, except when it was Cyndaquil. I love Cyndaquil and I love Typhlosion, but when I was a kid, Feraligatr was so cool looking.
It was.
He's pretty sweet. So I typically go fire, but there are a few exceptions to the rule. Because I think I got a Trico in that third generation.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just feel like plant starters are little bitches.
Alright, fuck you then. No.
Grass starters, I should say.
I don't pick a lot of them. I think Trico might have been the one and only. No, there's the owl. There's that owl thing in like Generation 6, I think. Sun and Moon. That was pretty cool.
Venusaur's cool. Bulbasaur's cool, but I also prefer Charizard.
Right. Charizard's the fucking...
Which I think also many people do.
One of my like 9-year-old students who knows Pokemon, you know, he's 9, so he's been alive since like there's been like 800 Pokemon. But he's like, yeah, Charizard's my favorite. I'm like, fucking Charizard, holding up.
Wow, that's awesome. OG.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there might be a reason why a lot of people still kind of hold on to the original Pokemon a lot.
Mm-hmm. They started this. I mean, if it weren't for them, Pokemon would not be here.
Yeah, and I think overall they're just more iconic designs.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, they're not a desk, chair.
You know, before they started becoming chairs and bottles and shit.
Oh, fuck. But, so, yeah, and then they did a thing on Pokemon Snap. I don't know. I'm not one of those people that my nipples get hard just on the mention of Pokemon Snap.
I am excited for Pokemon.
I think I'm excited for it, too. But the first one, I don't, like, think of it, like, as, like, this masterclass game that people talk about it as.
I think I remember Pokemon Snap as, like, that game that was, like, kind of shitty, but also kind of fun.
Yeah. It was like
like, this is all I do, but then you also realize that, like, you could do a lot more shit.
Yeah. You can make things happen. Like, it is fun, and I bet this new one's gonna be really, like, to think of all the shit they've probably added to the series. I'm gonna buy it, but, like, I'm not the biggest, like, Pokemon Snap, dude!
But the hype is there.
Yeah, sure is. So those are the things coming Pokemon way. Diamond Pearl comes out later this year. Snap comes out in April, and that one I just told you about doesn't come out until next year.
It's going to be a good couple of years for Pokemon.
Sure does, which I'm on board for, especially now that I'm playing video games more often. Like, I'll embrace the Pokemon. So
I'm still curious as to whether they'll make, this is off topic, but as to whether they'll make a Detective Pikachu 2.
Yeah, well, not even like a Detective Pikachu 2, but honestly, just something in that universe. Like, they really developed a cool... I feel like now is the best time than ever to start the Pokemon universe. Like, yeah, they clearly have a handle on it. Like, was Pokemon Pikachu like the best one we've ever seen? No, but it was pretty good, and the Pokemon part of it was awesome. Like, it was exactly what I wanted.
If they just channel more of that.
Dude, I was 26 when that came out. I saw the opening scene where, like, Pidgeys are flying in a field or some shit. Like, it was the very beginning. It was just, like, showing real-life Pokemon world. And I almost teared up. I think I did tear up. I was like, this is everything I've been waiting my whole life for.
Pokemon can be so much more with technology today.
Yeah, oh, dude. The power's inside. That's what they say. And it's weird, we are going to go off topic for a minute on this Pokemon rant, but it's weird that, like, that movie came out, it was popular, it made money, it was good, I haven't heard a thing about a sequel, or even plans.
Exactly, that's why I'm curious, because I'm like, I feel like the momentum's kind of falling out from it now.
Yeah, like, it's only been, like, 2 years since that last one came out, but when you're not hearing about anything new coming, it's kind of like, oh, man. Even the Sonic sequel got announced.
Yeah, wow, yeah.
And Pokemon's didn't yet? Like, there's a lot of movie time. I don't even want them to do Detective Pikachu again. I just want them to do more with real Pokemon.
You can do so many stories in that universe that they just made. Like, you don't have to do, like, a detective noir story. Like, you can do so many different stories.
Anything. The fact that movie worked as well as it did, like Detective Pikachu, and it was good and riveting and a good movie, like, it's very random. Like, you could make a really good plot in that universe.
Yeah. No one really fucked with the Detective Pikachu game. Like, the majority of that audience has probably never played Detective Pikachu.
Right.
To go see.
They just wanted to see real-life Pokemon.
Yeah, because people want to see that universe.
Yeah. And you get Ryan Reynolds to play Pikachu, and it's like, all right, all the Deadpool people are going...
Yeah, alright, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, that was a good rant for Pokemon.
Sure was. I think that's a good place to go. Your turn. What do you got?
I've actually got a few video games of myself that are up and coming that I've been excited for.
Up and coming? Are you making them?
They're coming hot off the press very soon.
I've been wondering what you've been up to.
Yeah. I've been learning how to code this whole time. WarHammer 3, Total War WarHammer 3, I should say, is announced to be coming out soon, which I am very excited for.
What is that on?
It will be for the PC, but I think you can get it for a bunch of other games. Have you ever played the Total War games?
I don't think so. I feel like we've talked about this before. Maybe.
We might have. But I don't think we talked about WarHammer 3 because I don't think... I
don't think so.
We might have talked about WarHammer, but not Total War. So the Total War games, they're like a franchise that's been around for 20 years now. There's a bunch of different ones, but they're like basically controlling your armies to capture territory. You like command units real time in battles, and you craft policy and make trade agreements and allies, and it's like really interesting. There's all sorts of different Total War games. They have like a Roman Empire one.
I've definitely heard of the series.
Yeah, it's been around. They're pretty famous. They've been around for a long time. I'd say they're on par with like the Civilization series in terms of like how long it's been around and how dedicated of a fan base it has.
Okay.
But yeah, most of them are around like actual historical periods, like Napoleon. Like there's Napoleon or Vikings or Attila the Hun, like all those kind of cool stuff. But my personal favorites, and I think a lot of people agree that like they're like the best of the Total War games, are the ones based after WarHammer.
Right, I think WarHammer was because we talked about WarHammer, I think in our first podcast.
Yeah.
You
WarHammer
told me all about it.
Like, yeah, so this is different from like, well, no, this is like real world WarHammer, but in a video game.
Gotcha.
Total War context. So it's a Total War game, but it's in the WarHammer universe.
Okay.
So you can play as different factions like elves or orcs or vampires or humans or lizard men, and you control your factions and try to capture continents and territory and like lead your armies. Each faction has like special attributes to their race. Like the vampires can summon undead units from anywhere on the map, especially if like there's a lot of dead people or like a lot of battles that have happened. The lizard men are like super tough, and they have dinosaur units that you can attack people with. And the humans are like a part of this like huge empire that like there's like a bunch of political squabbles, and you have to like unite territories through diplomacy and trade. It's really cool.
It's a whole world there.
Yeah, and so they just announced WarHammer 3, and so this is the latest WarHammer Total War game that's going to come out, and I'm very pumped for it because I've played the shit out of WarHammer 2. I'm still playing it like today. I have a few games going on it.
Yeah, I think I've seen you play that game before. Like, were you playing it when you were home? Like when you first got home from Africa?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think I've seen.
Yeah, I might not have been playing WarHammer, but I was playing probably a Total War game.
Yeah. Well, cool. When's that one come out?
I have to check the dates, but this year, 2021.
Good year for shit to release. They only had all year to work on stuff.
Yeah. But no, I'm super excited for it. It's a really fun game to play. And moving on to the other new game that I wanted to talk about that I hope comes out this year is Psychonauts 2.
Okay. I don't think I knew they were making a sequel to that.
They are. Well, the sequel has been announced for a long time, but it was...
The first one came out a while ago.
For a while. Took a lot longer than originally intended, but I checked the release date on it, and it said 2021.
Dang.
Yeah.
So weird I haven't heard anything. Dude, that first game, I'm trying to look that up. When did that first game come out? 2005. Yeah, it's been out for 16 years.
15, 16 years ago. Yeah.
And that one sits at a masterpiece. It's got 10. It's a well-received game.
I remember... It is probably one of, if not my favorite PS2 game that I've played. And I didn't even know what it was. I have a vivid memory of when I first got Psychonauts, the game. Like, I was going to the video game store because I was bored, and I hadn't found a new video game that I liked in a while, and I just randomly saw that, and I had no idea what it was about. Like, there wasn't any, good reviews out about it yet. But I'm just like, this looks fine, like this weird-ass game. And I had no idea that I picked up, like, a masterpiece.
Right.
And, like, it was a game that I was going to remember for the rest of my life. I played it when I was in Africa.
Nice.
As, like, a comfort kind of thing, because it's just, like, such a great story. And so I'm really hoping it actually is coming out this year. Not holding my breath, though, because it's been pushed back before.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have a release date, like a specific date. It just says 2021.
Yikes! Yeah, that's a little scary. I mean, we're only into March, but you'd think they have like a month picked out by now. But there are games like that. Even Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, like they just said sometime this year. So.
Yeah, and I'd much rather them push it back to continue working on it to make sure it's a complete game, rather than have another Cyberpunk on our hands.
Yeah, you don't want to get Cyberpunked twice.
No. I'll wait. It's been 15 years. I'll wait another year if I have to.
Yeah. It's the thing about a game that comes out that long ago, too. Like, you're so young when it comes out that, like, you don't care. Like, it'll get here when it gets here, you know?
Yeah, I think I was really excited for the sequel when I was young, but little did I know nothing was coming of it. But
yeah. That's when I'd like to go. I haven't played that one in a long time.
Yeah, they hint at a sequel at the end of the first game.
That's even more like, fucking ball buster there. I hate when they... Ugh. And did you hear that's kind of like what we're going to be getting with the Snyder Cut? Like, it's a movie that kind of cliffhangs.
Really?
Yeah. And it makes sense. He had this whole story ready before they canceled him. But, yeah, I saw that and I was like...
I don't have a lot of hope that it's going to be, like, way better than the original.
I think it has to be better, at least. Like, it can't get much worse.
Better. I don't know if it's going to make it a great movie as it should be. I don't know if it's going to make it, like, the quality of what a Justice League movie should be.
Yeah. But I think it's going to do a lot better than last one.
Yeah, I do think it will make it better.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited. It's still like my number one thing I'm most anticipated to see.
They can fix it because, like, it was Justice League, you know? Like, the Justice League was supposed to be, like, that was supposed to be, like, a major movie that people were going to see.
Right. And that just wasn't. Nobody saw it. Nobody wanted to see it. And it wasn't good. And it doesn't hold up. So, I'm looking forward.
Yeah. I hope I don't know if they can ever recapture the magic I felt when I first watched the first Avengers movie, but...
No.
I'm sure hoping they will.
I hope they at least catch their own. Like, nothing's going to be like that again, but... Man, I just watched Avengers this weekend, and I was like, this was so big.
Here's a little gossipy news for you.
Ooh, gossip. Hot celebrity gossip?
Did you hear that Amber Heard was fired from Aquaman 2?
When did they say that? I thought I heard a thing. I thought I heard a rumor that got debunked about that like 2 weeks ago.
Did it get debunked?
Yeah, I saw a thing say that it wasn't true. Like I saw that in a news article. First, I saw a thing about that, and they were going to hire Emilia Clarke to play her character in Aquaman. But then I saw that wasn't true. So I don't know if that changed.
It's not true. You're right. Fact check.
Get your facts straight on your gossip. You're like a high school girl. Yeah, thank God, because, she's something. She's crazy, but I just don't like taking actors out of things.
Yeah, just like how they also fired, what's-her-face from The Mandalorian.
Yeah, like, I just, it sucks to see a good character go, or, like, a character, like, she'll be gone from the show, that character in Mandalorian, like, they're not recasting her, but when I see a recast, like they were gonna do with Aquaman 2 from the rumor, I was like, oh man, I hate a recast. Like, it's somebody's face.
Every once in a while, I don't know, Marvel can kind of pull off some recasts, but minor ones.
Yeah, it's gotta be done right, and, like, soon.
Like, I think the recast for Rhodey's character, Don Cheadle, was a better choice.
And they got him out of there quick.
The same with Mark Ruffalo and Edward Norton.
Yeah.
Yeah. Better choice.
Yeah. You gotta do it fast, though. Because, I don't know. I feel like if I saw a different girl playing in Aquaman 2, I'd be like, man, like... Do I have personal thoughts on Amber Heard? Yeah. But... Do I want her to lose her job over him? not really. I think the whole thing with Johnny Depp kind of sucked. Like, knowing that he got fired from movies because of this bullshit is just like, nah.
Yeah.
Kind of sucks. Especially when he's like, you've now learned recently that he wasn't the bad guy.
Right.
And then hear that he loses. That sucks.
Yeah, that really sucks.
So.
Sorry, Johnny Depp.
Yeah. Would have liked to see you be in more shit, but hey. At least you were in other shit. You were in good shit. Good shit,
Pirates.
old shit. Pirates, Edward Scissorhands. It's Johnny Depp, man. He's got it. He'll come back. This whole thing, all of it's gonna blow over. Dude, yeah. I could get into some more of this shit and give examples, but I don't really want to. Let's move on from that.
Right.
Any other games that you're looking forward to?
Nope.
Those two? Okay.
Those two.
Cool. Then I want to bring up this one that I'm very excited about. I'm sure you saw, or maybe you didn't, about the announcement of Paramount Plus and all the things coming with that.
Yeah.
Boy. You know, you get the Rugrats reboot, whatever, cool. I'm not going to watch it, but good to know the younger generation can get into Rugrats. But
yeah, that's nice.
I'll let you guess. What do you think I saw in that announcement that just rocked my world?
Paramount.
The Paramount Plus announcement.
Paramount Plus is something with Godzilla?
Not Godzilla. Godzilla's on HBO Max. I'll just give it to you. It's the Avatar Studios announcement that they made.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Dude.
I forgot what Paramount owned.
I'm so effing stoked about that.
Avatar Extended Universe, baby!
Dude, they're kicking it off with a movie, like a theatrical film. They didn't really give any details, but I almost guarantee you it will be about the adult original gang. Like, to get people sucked in, right. You got to get the original gang, and people are very interested in them older, so I just feel like...
I know, so many people have said that they would watch old gang do shit.
Yeah. Whether that be
they had so many adventures.
Yeah. And there's got to be so much, and you can just go so big, and the animation, Korra's animation is so fucking beautiful, and that came out 8 years ago. So now you got 8 years newer animation, movie budget quality. Dude.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be so fucking good.
I've been so impressed lately with the new animations that have been coming out. Netflix has so many cool, unique shows that are targeted towards kids, but are kind of for everyone. They have adult themes, and everyone can enjoy them. And
yeah,
the animation is beautiful.
Really
in a
good.
lot of these. You can really tell that we're kind of entering a new era of good animation.
Yeah. And boy, when it looks that good, man, you just it almost makes up. Some shows could have a terrible story, and I'm like, well, fuck it. Looks so nice though. It's Korra is one of those that is just beautiful to look at.
It's just great to look at.
Oh my god! So that is, and it's a whole studio though. They're making new shows. This movie's just the beginning of stuff that the original creators are back to work on. So it's just
yeah, I'm so glad they have them working on that, and I'm so glad that we're finally seeing the full potential of the Avatar universe, because I always said that you could make endless stories and follow endless avatars with the way they wrote it.
Yeah,
with the it's literally a Doctor Who-esque kind of self-writing show.
Yeah, and you don't even have to go in order. You can go backwards. Yeah. You can
that's exactly. That's the beauty of a show like Doctor Who, is that it's a show that's written to make you be able to write about anything.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same in kind of that universe. We can follow so many different stories of people in this world who can have these elemental powers.
Yeah, and crazy adventures with them, and how they shape the world.
And spirits and demons and all the other random shit that goes on in the world that we don't know about.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as those guys just have really good ideas to go along with what they're making, I'm fucking in. They can make new Avatar series every couple of years for the rest of my life if they do it well. And yeah, nothing like when I saw that news, man, I just couldn't stop smiling. We were working out. I kept like going back to my phone and just looking at the article, grinning. I was like, oh man, the Avatar was such an important show in my life. And then when Korra came out, like that, just like, man, I can't tell you how happy I was when something new. It was only a few years later, but at that point in time, it felt like a while. And then I loved it, and I was watching it. Like, it turns me into such a fangirl whenever there's these series, and I can't wait to be looking forward and to be experiencing that joy in my life again.
It's much needed joy.
Truly.
A revisiting of more innocent times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only thing that would make it better is if these would have came out when the pandemic started.
Yeah.
Like if I got to just jump into the pandemic oh my god, I would have been so happy.
I'm not even mad.
Yeah, we went through depression quick. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was. There's not a real lot to talk about with this because they only said like they were doing it. I think the movie's supposed to be out this year sometime, I think. But there's not a lot of other info.
Yeah.
But I just had to talk about how excited I am about it.
Oh, it sure is something to be excited about.
Oh my god. And like, I'm going to get Paramount Plus. I think it's a good move. I think the moves that Paramount Plus made are definitely making them a streaming service that people will probably get and are at least talking about. They announced a lot of big IP that they're putting on this. And I think Avatar in itself is enough to get a lot of people excited to jump on board.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting seeing all the different new streaming services strategies to like be competitive in the streaming marketplace.
Yeah.
Because like Netflix had it pretty locked down for a while.
And like people still use Netflix. It's still there, but
yeah, Netflix isn't going away. But Disney Plus is the real meteoric rise.
Dude, it like quadrupled its expected amount of subscribers or money income this year.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Blew past their goal.
And all they had was The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
If you think about their first year. That's it.
With way, way more things to come. Like, they're just going to continue to grow in subscribership.
Yeah, it's got something for everyone. There are new Marvel shows. WandaVision is just the beginning of, like, us getting consistent Marvel shit.
Yeah.
Forever.
I was saying, it's amazing. Like, I'm actually kind of happy that Disney decided to make its own streaming service, because if it allows them to have the ability and the budget to create movie quality TV shows like WandaVision,
yeah,
then like, because like those episodes are movie quality.
Yeah, I'd watch those in a theater.
Yeah,
it's the thing. They got all the actors, they got all the money, the budget. You wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like cheap TV.
Except maybe the first 2 episodes. This is black and white.
Well, since we're on WandaVision now.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably... That was really all I had to talk about, so if we want to just fucking slip into our WandaVision review, I am down. I'm down.
That's good.
Kick us off, man. Kick us off. We're gonna do a little Chase Creepek's Kitchen kind of while we talk about this, because I have to go get dinner started, so...
Alright, so you want me to just recap what happens in the episode?
Yeah, whatever you want to start with, because we'll have to talk about everything, but yeah, go for it. Recap the episode. Tell us the plot.
Yeah, so basically we start with Wanda and Agnes facing down, and what we immediately find out from Agnes is her motivations as to what he wants with Wanda, and I found that very interesting, because we learn that Wanda is actually way more powerful than like any known magic users.
Like an actual witch. Like she's.
Yeah.
We don't even. Yeah, we learn a lot about her. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we've learned. We basically get Wanda's backstory. This whole episode is that's there. That's the recap. It's like everything that her character has been missing since her introduction into the Age of Ultron has been filled in, and now she really does feel like a fully fleshed out character that she never really felt like before.
That was her One Piece flashback episode.
It was.
Yeah.
It was exactly her One Piece flashback episode, and it was great. I loved it.
Yeah, it was really good.
And like, I was just like, wow. Like, Marvel, of course, did it again. They managed to take a character that was like moderately popular, but kind of a part of the B list,
right?
And made them into their headliner.
Like
again.
people that don't even watch the Marvel movies are talking about this show. Like,
yeah,
it's
like,
really cool.
I was worried that Scarlet Witch was going to be like their flagship character, or like one of the characters that was going to be like leading the next generation, because we didn't really see a lot from her or get a lot from her in the main movies that she's in.
Right. I think the last time we did this podcast, I covered her like storyline that they set up. It was like a big storyline, but you almost had to look for it. You had to pay attention. It wasn't right in your face.
Exactly. Because she was pretty much treated always as like a B cast character.
Yeah.
But now she's A-list. I think she's got it. Like, Elizabeth Olsen is killing it.
Dude, Elizabeth Olsen is all over the place now. She's like everywhere I look. It's her. I go on YouTube. There's like things about her constantly. I'm just like, oh man.
Yeah, like she's fully grown into the character, I think, and I think it's the same thing is going to happen to her as to what they did with Tony Stark in the Iron Man comics and Nick Fury in the Iron Man comics, is that they're going to model them after their real life actors now.
Oh, dude, honestly, man, I don't know. We watched the Screen Crush, we watched all the reviews and shit after the fact, and like all those videos show things from the comics. Sometimes I'm looking at the comic character that they've been using, and I'm like, that looks like Elizabeth Olsen. Like they like pick the right cast. Marvel is fantastic at casting. Like
they really are. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. Like they changed Nick Fury in the comics to look like Samuel Jackson, but honest to God, I think Tony Stark has always looked like he does, and they were like, Robert Downey Jr., that guy looks like Tony Stark. Hire him. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and Benedict Cumberbatch they had to kind of make look like Doctor Strange.
But even he pulls it off pretty well.
He did. No, he did. I was curious, but no, once they changed his hair and he grew a beard, it worked.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But we're not talking about Doctor Strange here. We're talking about Wanda.
Well, the more we talk about this, we might have to talk about Doctor Strange. But yeah,
That's true.
Keep going with your recap of the episode.
Yeah, so we find out. So I was curious, and many people had obviously speculated that Agnes was the main villain behind all of this. And we find out that is and isn't true. Because she's not the one that's pulling the strings like we thought. She actually doesn't know what's going on either.
Yeah, she's just she heard something was going on, and she was like, I'm going to go check that out. And that's really...
there's a lot of weird magic stuff going on here, so let's see what's going on.
Yeah, it's crazy to know there's one episode left, and we still have to, there's still the mystery of, okay, we know why this is here, but what else is going on? Something else is going on here.
I think there's still a character that has yet to be revealed.
Right, the cameo.
Yeah,
we were supposed to be getting.
I think that's still coming, and I think that's gonna be big. But so yeah, we find out that Agnes has like been around since the Salem witch trials.
Mm-hmm.
She can do some vague life-sucking powers.
Yeah, she really zombifies her family.
Yeah. So she lives for a long time, so we can assume she's immortal, or at least is prolonging her life with magic.
Mm-hmm.
But she's not stronger than Wanda.
No.
In fact,
yeah,
way weaker than Wanda.
Mm-hmm. Which is crazy, because they made her look like she's, like, crazy fucking strong, but...
Yeah. And I think she just knows her shit and has been around a lot longer, so...
Yeah,
she knows the ins and outs of magic better than Wanda. Mm-hmm. But Wanda's raw power is far greater than hers.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. We'll see what happens to her character, and we learn, basically the mystery behind how the Hex got created. Well, I think there's still more to be revealed.
Yeah.
But we saw the Hex get created. We saw what Wanda did when she broke into the S.H.I.E.L.D. facility to get Vision, which, interestingly, we find out she did not steal Vision's body.
Not even a little.
Not even a little bit.
So that Hayward guy is a motherfucking liar.
He's a liar.
He's a no good, dirty, rotten cheat.
And, but even more interestingly, we find out that the current Vision that's inside the Hex is a full creation of that Wanda did herself.
Right.
Like, she completely created him new.
I think there's a little more to that even too, but that's just the theory.
That's probably, but it looked at least like she has created him.
Mm-hmm.
And this, leaves me with all sorts of questions of, we know that he can't leave the Hex, and now we probably know why.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if that's going to stay a thing. Because I just feel like those kids are going to be characters, and I feel like they need to be able to leave the Hex.
Exactly, because I feel like it'd be pretty dark at this point to take away Wanda's children from her.
Right.
Like, I don't think...
After everything that we just saw.
Yeah, I think they're going to get out of the Hex. Now, Vision, I'm still not sure about.
Yeah, that could go a number of ways. After we get done with the recap, we're gonna go back and start picking pieces of this apart. I think is a good way to tackle this. So I have a lot to say about that too.
And then basically we see Wanda's past. We see the Stark bomb land and kill her parents in her house in Sokovia. We find out, which I think the theory was correct, pretty much that her reality is a sitcom reality because her family grew up watching sitcoms to learn English.
There's a lot of people were speculating and guessing.
Yeah, I think that was a theory that a lot of people got right.
Yeah, pretty early on.
Yeah, and we see all the theories that directly inspired each episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I thought that the black and white episode was I Love Lucy, but it was the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Right. I think it's still a little mix of all of them, but it was good.
I think so. I think it takes inspiration from all of them.
Yeah. Right, but it was cool to see that case, and she had all the... I was trying to track the time on that. I'm just how old is Wanda? How long ago was she watching? It was 20 years ago. Is she have a DVD player? Did she really have all these DVD collections that long ago?
Yeah.
In Sokovia? But whatever. No big deal. It's the Marvel Universe. Right. They could have got DVD players sooner.
Yeah. So we see, that flashback, which we knew that story, because that story's been told to us several times before. But this is the first time we actually...
It was cool to see it. It was a cool watch.
It was a cool scene. It was done really well. I don't know why it was never shown to us before. It seems like it just kind of makes sense to visualize backstories of your characters, because that makes me care about her way more now.
Yeah.
Rather than her just telling us the backstory, which happened a few times. We also see how she gets her powers.
Yeah. Or how she amplified her powers.
How did she amplify her powers?
That is my favorite, thing that they went into. I love knowing that she had the power. Because, I've kind of just gone along with, oh, yeah, she got the powers from the Mind Stone. That's their
I always
explanation.
thought that was a little vague, and I didn't like that, but I was just okay, fine. Because I always thought it was weird. Why did she get weird witchy powers, and why does he get super speed? Why does the Mind Stone...
Yeah, how does that connect to the Mind Stone?
Yeah, but we find out that at least Wanda, had magical powers before, and the Mind Stone exposure just awakened them and amplified them further.
And I like that so much more. And I love how she, sees herself or the Scarlet Witch when she's, looking into the Mind Stone. Such a cool little moment.
And one thing I noticed, which I felt was very interesting, is that I was wondering if we were going to see Pietro Quicksilver get his powers too.
Yeah, we did
but
not.
But they purposefully did not show that scene.
They didn't show him at all. I think they just don't want to get that other actor back.
They did not show him at all. And I always wonder, I always felt like Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch were very underdeveloped in the MCU up until this point.
Yeah. It's the MCU
and I feel like this story is becoming just as much about closure for Pietro's death as it is about giving Wanda her story.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think we're going to get more of that too. I think we're going to get more of Quicksilver, more of his backstory kind of, and maybe there will be a future for that character somehow.
I'm still interested in seeing what they're gonna do with Trick Silver or whatever, Fake Silver.
Yeah,
Pietro. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people liked it. People were kind of excited to have Evan Peters' Quicksilver in the MCU.
I was down. He's a fun character. I'm excited to see what he's got to do in this next episode. Next episode's got to be an hour long. I just feel like there's a lot to tie up.
And I also think that the MCU has crossed the threshold of goofy comic book territory, that you can do weird shit like resurrect characters from different timelines, and people will buy it and accept it.
Yeah. The thing with that though is I wonder what they're gonna do. They've kind of spelled it out that he's not him. I feel like if Agatha is the one that brought him in, if she was strong enough to tear people from different realities, why would she be so thinking that Wanda's so special? I should probably get going here soon. So it's time to eat dinner. I made some steaks. We can hear me making them in this episode. It's a pseudo Chase Prefect's Kitchen episode of the podcast. Any closing statements before we dip out?
I like big butts, and I cannot lie.
Okay, wow, that's why we watch anime.
Oh, did you see the meme of the Big Hero 6 ant?
I don't think I have.
Out?
No, I have not seen that.
There's a meme going. Someone photoshopped an image from the Aunt Cass from Big Hero 6. They photoshopped her shirt to have like really revealing cleavage,
Oh.
and like it exploded on the internet, and everyone was like,
I've been off the meme circuit for a while. I'll have to go check my iFunny and see this.
yeah,
The
it's
internet.
funny. I'll send it to you.
Please, yeah, send it to me. I'd rather just. That's best. I probably won't go looking for it too soon, or I might forget. So that's a good way to handle it. All right, well, everybody who listens to this as we build our viewership.
Nerd Shit in the Dark.
Nerd Shit in the Dark special edition, daytime but with nighttime ambiance. I think we did another good one. I'm gonna send it to our boys. I'm gonna try to get this one up. But yeah, Nerd Shit out. Let's just say something real quick to close this. I'll stop the recording, and yeah, we'll go on our merry ways. So, peace and love around the world for all.
Yeah, and I love you.
Dude, yeah. I love you too. Nice. All right. See you guys next time. Bye.